was 10:30 p.m. in the evening. Back then, Mambo Pambo used to operate from my living room. And we had closed shop at 8:30 p.m. And my two daughters, then they were 5 and 3, and their dad, we'd had dinner at 8 p.m. and they'd gone to bed. They were my studio assistants at that time. So when a client rang the bell, either the dad or one of the girls would open the door. If I was not at hand, they would entertain them as they waited for me. And so that night, they've gone to bed. I'm seated at my usual corner. I had my expense manager, the app, a notebook, a pen, and shattering dreams, let me say, because I was really feeling down. The math was not mathing. I was trying to balance accounts. Very bad idea, by the way, before bed. Don't look at accounts. I owed a Shylock. I owed clients. I owed my tailors. I owed suppliers. I owed. I had collected deposit that day. Gross income was 2,700. Amount owed 100K plus. And as I sat there, I was just hearing all these negative thoughts in my head. A few weeks before that, somebody had asked me, "You're starting a fashion brand, but you're not even a brand yourself. Who are you going to sell these clothes to? You're brave." Some days earlier, a well-meaning client observed, "If you're not a millionaire by the time you're in your mid-30s, just give up." And then, the one that hurts the most sometimes, we were at a family get-together and a relative observes, "You know the ladies you went to Alliance with? They are far. And you, what are you doing playing with fundis? Where is this going to take you?" So all these thoughts were running around my head, and I was getting sadder by the minute. I started crying. I was weeping, and the weeping turned into full-fledged wailing. So my hubby, Martin, woke up. "What's going on? Who died?" I'm like, "Nothing, Martin, nothing." There's obviously something. I mean, look at you. I was mid an existential crisis. Like, what am I doing? So I'm like, Mambo Pambo is not making any money. I'm an epic failure, really. And I should look for a job before I ruin both our lives. I took a breath. I think by then it was around this time. It's like, it's going to midnight. So you're not going to make any money tonight anyway. So let's go to sleep. We'll figure this one out. Now, to get to this point, let us go back to where it all started. That is in Kisauni, Mombasa, where I was born. We lived in a Swahili type house, and my parents had rented out 2 rooms. One was a sitting room / kitchen / where the guests slept when they came, and the other one was a shared bedroom. And 2 things stand out from my childhood. One, I wanted to get out of that neighborhood. I was coming to Nairobi. I was going to live in the leafy suburbs. I was going to drive a snazzy car. I was going to look like those glamorous women you see in Drum, True Love, Viva, Orierogo Manduli, Catherine Kasavuli. I was going to be that woman. The other thing that stands out was my parents believed in stepping out of the house looking good. And so we didn't have much, but my parents had taste and they had a budget for clothing. And my mom had plugs. She had a plug in Kibokoni for fabric. Kibokoni is Old Town. She had a town tailor. She had worked out friendly rates. We had a neighborhood fundi for simple things and adjustments. When Mtumba came to town, we had a plug in Congo Air for Ben Select. We had another one for Camera Mtumba. And sometimes at the end of the year, when my dad had a bonus, we would get a stipend. After all the expenses were paid, we're given some money for new clothes. So we even had clothes from Deacons. We looked good, always. Now, one thing that all these clothes had in common, they would disappoint. And so we were constantly adjusting, move the seam, add a dart, shorten it, do something. So from a very early age, I was a fabric whisperer. I would look at fabric and I can tell you, or I'd look at an outfit and tell you, I know what's wrong with that outfit. How about you change this and change this, especially for your body shape? Now, to get out of the neighborhood, I was told, you must work very hard. Working hard is not a problem for me. My name Kawira translates to the hardworking one. So I worked very hard. And I was called to Alliance. Yay, me, Alliance Girls. Celebration! Until I told my parents I want to study art and design. Say what now? Art and design, I'm going to go to University of Nairobi or I'm going to Kenyatta University, but art and design is my calling. Yes. My mom said, you want to starve. I was stubborn. I'm going to do art and design. My dad said, do what you want. And that's what I did. So I graduated from University of Nairobi with a first class honors degree in design. I majored in graphics. So I majored in graphics simply because even at that age, I knew as a fashion designer, you're 20, 21, 22, 23, you have no money for a sewing machine, no money for fabric, because you need to create pieces to show your clients what you're capable of. No money for zips, buttons, sewing machines, even rent. And so I did graphics because I knew straight out of campus you get a job. And I did get a job straight out of campus. 6 months into the job, I realized, whoa. A graphic designer's salary back then at entry level is not going to get you an apartment at the leafy suburbs, at least not fast enough. I quickly enrolled for an evening MBA program and I channeled my entire paycheck. So I would save, and pay for my evening classes. The moment I finished, I enrolled for a Chartered Institute of Marketing diploma, which is where I met Aga back then. But 3-4 years post-campus, I was a marketing manager in this town. I was living the life. I had the apartment, I had the closet, I had the makeup, I had the car. My parents were very proud. Society was impressed. Me, not so much. Corporates, I felt wasn't my calling. In the process, I met my hubby, I fell in love, and I moved to West Africa. Remember, I thought I was very fashionable. West Africa was a revelation. We lived in Accra and Abuja. So Ghanaian ladies are elegant, very elegant, always well put together. Nigerian women are a masterclass. Fashion for Nigerians is at another level. Now, before moving, I had sold my entire corporate wardrobe. I had nice suits. Even then, I would make sure my suits are tailored, pants fit right, just right. If it's bootleg, matching shoes. So I sold all that and I just kept t-shirts, jeans, nice shoes, accessories. I was done with corporate. Never mind that even in West Africa, I did quite a bit of consulting. Now, to understand the West African psyche, let me give you an example. So when we were in Abuja, one morning, I'm dropping my daughter to kindergarten. I was in jeans and a t-shirt. This lady stopped me. She looks at me up and down, up and down. Kawira, what's wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you mourning? We don't leave the house looking like this. What's wrong? That is 3 years into it. I thought, I have really improved. No. So I doubled the effort. And when we lived there, there were always events, but the parties, weddings, wambes, there was always something. But also, West Africans step out, even to go to the supermarket, to go to the club, to go to church. Forget about how we just throw on anything. They plan. So I needed a wardrobe strategy. I doubled my efforts, spent a lot of time in the markets, fabric markets with tailors, high and low tailors. But still, you would find me late at night adjusting something. You've bought this lace outfit, you're going for a wedding, you take it home, you wear it, and what's wrong? It has killed your waist. It has killed my waist. The sleeves, I don't know where, so I'm busy and stitching. By then, I had even invested in a sewing machine at home. So those frustrations are what started crystallizing my dream to start a fashion brand. That and the fact that I noticed that in West Africa, there's a fashion infrastructure for every social economic status. So even my nanny, when she left to go to church on Sunday, she looked nice. We had a sewing machine at home. She always had fabric. She was always tailoring her pretty dresses with lace and sequins. And I realized you can do this for your people. So for me, Mambo Pambo was about taking the frustration out of dressing. In your 30s, even late 20s going on, we are busy. You have PTA meetings, you have work, you have gym, you have church, you have all sorts of things. Do you have time to start unstitching things? When you buy clothes and the biceps are, it's just very frustrating. So I was coming back to start a fashion brand that solved those problems. I started putting away fabric. We moved back home and I started Mambo Pambo in my guest room. Now, it wasn't as easy as I thought. The phone wasn't ringing, or it was ringing a little. And the clients who would, in Kiswahili tunasema kuchocha, who would excite you and encourage you on Facebook saying they're coming, would not come. So clients have ghosted you. Tailors are refusing to work from your house. They're like, you're not a brand. We hate working from people's homes. So it was a depressing time. And that is what triggered my meltdown that day. Now, I felt broken, but that night, something else broke in me. We went to bed. We woke up. A few days later, we had a board meeting of 2, and my husband asked me, "You believe in your talent, right? Price accordingly." I doubled my prices. The phone that was not ringing much pretty much stopped ringing. In the process, we got signed by Republic. Republic was a fashion brand. They've since shut down, but they were a fashion brand back then, stocking made in Kenya. So I put together some money. I had all these designs. We created them, waterfalls, waterfall coats, shirt dresses, and Republic stocked them. And the people who bought them first liked them. And those who got it, got it. They told a friend, who told a friend, who told a friend. Our tag had a telephone number. We were on social media. And the brand just picked momentum. So it was really exciting. We felt validated. Then 2020, COVID hit. And reggae stopped. When reggae was stopping, I had inventory. I had inventory for Republic, and Zanta Dede store at Village Market had just signed us. So I had also inventory for Zanta Dede store, and I had inventory in my own studio. What are we doing with all this inventory? Every item on a rack is cash. 10,000, 10,000 times 10, times 10, times 10. It was very depressing. So for 4 weeks straight, all I did is go to my studio, look at all those clothes. Then one day, as I was doing that, I came back home, looked at my closet, looked at my phone, looked at my daughters, looked at their dad. We were all at home. And a light bulb went off in my head. How about you model these clothes and take photos and post? Remember, I didn't look like a model. I still don't look like a model, but it worked. It worked. Why? Because clients could relate. So my beloved family really came through. I'd wake up in the morning, put on makeup, and ask them, when can we start? How many photos are we taking today, mommy? I'm like, 6 looks. 6! That is so many. Daddy, can you help? But somehow we did. We did videos, we posted, and the phone started ringing again. People wanted clothes for their Zoom calls that had an element of design. Ladies wanted to revamp their wardrobes. And I managed to get my team back, and we continued working. By the time lockdown was ending, we had picked momentum. We carried on. Then in 2021, July, I wound up in hospital with COVID. So did my husband for half a month. Reggae slowed down again. I had a team, the team tried. You know how COVID can really zap your energies, and you just really, we were a zombie that year. No inspiration, no new designs, but the year ended. 2022, we rallied. Africa Development Bank put out a call for fashion entrepreneurs to apply for training, 6 weeks training. After the 6 week training, you would pitch for funding. Again, my hubby, God bless him, encouraged me to apply. So I applied and we won. And that's how we got funding. Thank you. And that's how we got funding to move to our current space, where now we were able to invest in better fabric. Our old machines were able to replace. I was able to invest in professional makeup, a photographer, cameraman. I think even now my family still has PTSD. So when we go for holidays, they don't believe, you don't have a suitcase of clothes for pictures? Are you sure? Can we? Are you sure you don't want any photos? I'm like, no, now we do that professionally. So yes, so today Mambo Pambo is 10 years strong. We are a bold, unapologetic African brand. We design for the woman who wants to be seen, not explained. So I did not starve. With the help of my family, my clients, to date, we have clients who are with us from day one, who remember that day in my house. We have believers. We have evangelists. To anybody who has mentioned Mambo Pambo in rooms where we were not, somebody who sent us a client. We have clients who post pay. They say, Kawira, I've just M-Pesa'd you 20,000. Remember the day I was wailing and I had no money? We've just I've sent you 20,000. We'll discuss what I'll make. So to those clients, thank you. We tailored our brand. We stitched our destiny against all odds. Thank you.